Today's tutorial is all about how to create a collage with some of the elements that we've already been working with and bring us forth some more advanced techniques. We are going to be using a Photoshop tutorial that I've pulled from that I'm adapting with some more methods that we're integrating into our classroom. So first, you should open up your folder of week 6 files and open up Cutout Collage Practice. Now once you have that open, you should see it just like I do, and then go ahead and find your digital media folder wherever you downloaded week 6 files, and we're going to add in the foil texture. So go ahead, you can just drag and drop it really easily, and you'll notice it's quite small. So what we want to do is we want to make it bigger. So when we're in the place tool, we can go ahead and make it bigger. You can move it. So I'm just going to do it like this. Looks pretty good. Press enter to return and we have it. That's great. Now we want to put the other image on there, which will be the model. So we drag and drop it just the same, and she's on there, and right as we've dragged and dropped, we want to click on the quick select tool, which you can also press W, and when you're on the quick select tool, up here you'll see select subject. Pretty cool. So it takes some time, and now it's selected your subject. When you're in this select and subject, press select and mask, and then you are masking. So in this, you'll see that there's little bits that have kind of been left behind. So what we want to do is we want to take our quick select tool and go ahead and get rid of it. We press Option to do the minus, right? You can see that. Option, and we want to get rid of some of this stuff. Oh no, that's getting rid of all her eye. Command Z to go back. In this case, if we're getting rid of the hair, what we should use is the Refine Edge tool. So I can't really see that well. I'm going to bring this up to 60%, and I'm just going to go ahead and do the Refine Brush tool to refine the edges of this. And that way, it's actually going to keep her hair, but get rid of all that blue stuff. Go ahead and get rid of this blue right here too, as you're watching my mouse. Lots of blue. I definitely don't want that kind of blue shadow, but I don't want to get rid of her hair. So just use the Refine Brush tool. It's pretty good. I would go in and do it a little bit more. I think that's good for now. Do the refine edging here. Perfect, because we didn't want to get rid of her jacket. Excellent, so we've selected the finer detail, and now we press Output to Selection. For sure, we don't want a new mask. Output to. Okay, now we have the model, and what are we going to do? Add the layer mask, exactly. So we have the layer mask, so that way we can modify it without affecting the original image. And when we're in the mask, what we're going to do is we are actually going to right-click on the layer mask and add mask to selection. So we're going to kind of add a double mask here. And when we have this, add mask to selection, we're going to smooth the edges. So here you can go to your top menu bar, select, modify, smooth, and change the smooth selection that comes up here. Mine's already here. Instead of 1 to 10. Here we go. Excellent. Now we want to apply a color. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a solid color adjustment layer from the bottom of the layers panel and select white from the color picker. So what we're going to do is we are going to go right to here, solid color. You see it's doing a color fill. We don't want it to be blue, we want it to be white. Okay, so don't worry about the rough edges around the side, that's fine. There you go, you have that. And we're going to offset the shadow, which means we're going to move it. So you can press V or click on the move tool and you can move it kind of down below. Looks kind of strange. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on this layer and just move it up. So we see I'm not seeing a lot of the image, so I'm going to go back to 35, which I had. I have the move tool and I could kind of move this around to give it a nice kind of fun shadow. Here we go, like this. That looks pretty good, I think. The only thing is I want to tidy around the edges. I don't like the top right here. I don't like this. So I'm going to take my brush tool, press B, and I'm going to paint over the areas with black. It's not letting me paint over it. So what we need to do is we actually need to select the layer mask to be able to paint over it. Oh, it's not doing it. It went back to white. Let's click it on black. I can actually go ahead and look at that. Just smooth it out. Look at that, just smoothing it perfectly. All those parts that I don't want. That's pretty good. I like what's happening in here. Maybe I want to give it a little bit more up to you. Maybe a little bit up there. That's what I want. It's really up to you in this kind of refining edges. So now to prepare this kind of cutout effect, you select the model layer. So click on the model like I've done here and press your quick select, which is your W, of course, and quick select. My brush size is very, very small, so I'm going to make it a little bit bigger, and I'm going to select her right as I am. But I don't want her jacket, so I'm going to press Option to get rid of that right here. Seems pretty good. It's not giving me the jacket, it's giving me her. Oh, I see a little bit of the jacket. So I'm going to go ahead and minus Option so that it's pretty smooth. There we go. Excellent. And now when we have that quick selection tool, we can make, what we're going to do is we're going to add a solid color adjustment layer into this. So what we do is we do that again. We press this solid color and it's black. Well, we don't want it black, so we want to use the eyedropper tool and we want to have it red, exactly like that. Okay, well, looks kind of cool, but I see these little edges. I don't like that. I want to get rid of that. So remember, black conceals and white reveals. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose white, go ahead, and I'm going to not do that because I want to be in my brush tool. Let's click on the brush tool. So you see it's not letting me paint on this because I need to actually be on the mask layer. That's not correct. It went back to black. We want it to be white. And there I can actually smooth out the edges. So I can go ahead and smooth out some of these edges because I don't want it to be shown. I want it to be smooth. I can even go up her neck a little bit, go here, and on her jacket. I don't like that. I want to go back. So I'm going to do black to return some of the jacket. Remember, black conceals and white reveals. So there we go. And I don't want this. I want to be a nice round edge. I don't want these kind of strange edges. Go ahead and these, should I keep them? I don't know. I'll get rid of them. There we go. We've refined. And this edge also we want to refine. Great. That looks great. So here we have kind of basic composition, and now we're going to add some more stuff to it. So here is our model. So let's go to Finder and let's go to dots. And we're going to put the dots on there. It's very small, so we're going to make it quite larger. Larger, and we're going to flip it. So we're going to move them this way because it's a lot easier. Let's try to have them kind of straight and stretch them out. There you go. And press enter. Don't see anything. Let's play with the blending modes this time. So normal, let's see, darken, multiply, color burn, linear burn, lighten, screen, soft light, vivid, linear light. Let's play with difference. That looks pretty cool. Now the thing is, I don't want the dots to be over everything. I just want it to be on part of the image. Do you remember clipping masks? That's what's going to help us. So what we can do here is dots. We right click on dots and we can create a clipping mask, which means that that layer will become a mask only for the layer below it and not for the entire image. So let's create a clipping mask, and now we see the dots are only for the dress. If we wanted to move it, it could be for only parts of the model and not the dress. It can only be for that. If you move it around, just for the foil texture, maybe just for the red. So I actually want it for her dress. So create a clipping mask. There we go. We have it just for her dress. Looks pretty cool. And then you can go ahead and look at the different blending modes once it's on the dress of how you want it to be. So I really liked it with, I think, exclusion, because it kind of gave a difference, because it kind of gave a 3D effect. There we go. So now we have her dress set up. Let's add another thing into it. So what we're going to do is we're going to add this backdrop. So go ahead and bring in Lightwing Crow. Again, it's quite small, so we're going to make it, stretch it out to be the full size of the image. Looks pixelated, but it's not going to be. So here we go. Great, but it covers up the whole image. So what are we going to do? Let's put it in the background. Let's even put it behind the foil. So it covers up the red background, but it's underneath the foil texture. The colors are kind of similar. Not feeling exactly where it is, so I want to move it. So I want to move it just because I want to see a little bit of the bird. I want to see a little bit of the bird coming out. Maybe. Let's cover it up this time. Let's do it like this. Perfect. So again, I can move it around, and I can also change the blend mode how I want to do it. Have it darken. It's going to blend in with the color, which is the red. It's really up to you. Could do it kind of even lighten, kind of connect it. And I want to do one other thing. So what I want to do is I actually want to bring in another component. So we're going to bring in the owl. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in the owl. Can't really see it, right, because I've brought it in kind of above there. There we go. And owl's this way. Owl's black. It really kind of, I don't know if it really fits in with everything being pink. So first of all, I want to try to make the owl the shape to fit inside the window. So I'm going to go ahead and do free transform. And I'm going to move it. I'm going to change the opacity so I can see a little bit what's underneath. So I changed the opacity right in here, and I still, but you know what? It's not working. I need to actually warp this image. So something we haven't done too much of yet, I need to go ahead and warp it. So if we go into your edit menu again, you go into transform, and you go into warp. And what that will allow me to do, and some of you already did this in your first assignments, is warp this so that it fits the kind of edges of the window, because that's what we want it to make it seem like this owl is in the window. So we need to kind of warp it, move it, won't work.